Hey everybody, I'm Brian. This is Red Mug Music, and we're going to talk about Van Halen. I want to do a countdown, reviewing and ranking all of their albums from 12 to 1, but I'm going to do one video at a time because I really want to talk about each album in depth and offer the information that I know and give you a good idea of why I rank the albums where I do, and give you an idea of what I think about each of the tracks. And Van Halen is one of my favorite bands ever, so I wanted to do them all the justice I can do and not rush through one episode with 12 albums and just really not be able to talk about them, because I love talking about Van Halen. So today we're going to start with number 12. And number 12 is probably a lot of people's number 12, which is Van Halen 3. Van Halen 3, some complaints I have. It's super long. It's like 65 minutes long. It's the last, a lot of these songs on the album are super long, and I don't really understand why they're so long. I don't really see the point. So not a fan of that. But this is the last album that Michael Anthony did. Actually, he only played on 3 songs on the whole album. Eddie Van Halen played bass on the rest. You would think it was his son, but he wasn't in the band yet, so Eddie Van Halen played bass on the remaining songs. So you've got that. And this is the first album and last that had frontman Gary Cherone from the band Extreme. Now, when they invited Gary Cherone to join the band, they pretty much said, "Hey, you want to be in the band?" He's like, "Yeah," and then they're like, "Okay, let's go write some music." And I mean, they didn't give themselves time to build any kind of chemistry or know each other. They just jumped into it. So I think that was one of the first problems this album had, because this album, it just sounds like a bunch of demos. They're all unfinished, they're unpolished, underproduced, they're sad, and just a lot of bad decisions were made, and this album is crap. It just really is. But it's going to be number 12, and I'm going to talk about it right now. Now, the first song is called New World. That is an instrumental. It's got piano and acoustic guitar. You really can't go wrong. It's basically an intro to the next song. I've heard some people say that, I've heard them complain about the fact that they started this album so quiet and pretty, and they didn't just jump out punching. But if you really think about it, all this is a prelude to the next song, which is Without You. And I can appreciate that, because at least to me, it tells me that they were giving it some thought, and they wanted it to be more than just song and then next song, and then I appreciate it. So I'm good with this song. And then song number 2, Without You. Now we get to hear Gary Cherone sing. I miss Sammy already. It was after the first verse. I wish Sammy was back, or David Lee Roth, whoever. You hear that lack of chemistry. It's not there. And this is supposed to be like one of the best songs on the album. And it's okay. And it sounds like classic Van Halen, but something about Gary Cherone's voice, it sounds like he's constantly hitting like the wrong note, like a little sharp or a little flat. Like Now, I know the song more than words. I've heard him sing in Extreme, and that could be one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard in my life. So that guy can sing, but when he's belting out, like, when he's trying to sing like Sammy Hagar, not so good. So I'm not a fan. Then you have the intro into the chorus where they sound like they're singing underwater. They got that effect on there. That's crap. But then it gets into the chorus, and the chorus is amazing. Love the chorus. I love the build up to the chorus, and then boom, that's good. That's really one of the best, maybe one of the highlights of the whole entire album. So I'm good with that. But overall, when you really just kind of sit back and listen to it, this I feel like I'm hearing a lack of chemistry, and I feel like I'm hearing a lack of real, true production. I know that Eddie Van Halen had a hand in producing the album, and I think maybe he should have just stuck with playing guitar, because Eddie Van Halen is, in my opinion, the best guitarist ever. So, okay, song number 3 is called When I Want. The backup vocals, I feel like they're just wrong. The mixing sounds incomplete. The song sounds rushed. The chorus sounds like a train wreck. The solo's pretty good, but this is not a good song. So definitely not a strong song whatsoever. So that's song number 3. Then song number 4 is called From Afar. First time I heard this, I was appalled. I wish I was listening from afar, because this song is terrible. It sounds incomplete again. It sounds like there's a track or 2 or 3 that they just stripped off of it, and you're not even hearing the whole song. I'm trying to remember. There are some good elements, but again, I just feel like it's just underproduced. It's just not a finished thought. It's not a complete, thought. So, not good. Just not a good song. So I don't like this one either. Then you have Dirty Water Dog. This starts out sounding like anything but Van Halen. But then again, you can hear the lack of chemistry. The drums don't even sound like classic Van Halen. And actually, what I read is, I think Eddie Van Halen played some drums, so maybe that's why. Maybe he's playing drums here. The drums are just thin. It just doesn't sound good. And when the drums are thin like that, it just gives the whole song a thin sound. So, Dirty Water Dog, another crappy song. Now, the next song is song number 6, called Once. Okay. I played the song. I listened to the song. And I was just like, oh, God. But then I started noticing, besides the fact that this doesn't sound like Van Halen at all, musically, it's a good song. It's actually a very good song. And if you ever heard it, it kind of sounds like Pink Floyd. Listen to it and just think about it being Pink Floyd, and you'd be like, yeah, it kind of sounds like them. So far, I think maybe this song is the best song on the whole album, and we're, halfway through? So I'm impressed with this song. I think it's really good. Now, even though it doesn't sound like, classic Van Halen, I'm okay when they experiment. Van Halen's known to experiment, and I'm good with that. But when you experiment, make it good. And this song is actually pretty good. The next track number 7 is called Fire in the Hole. It's got a great start. Then the drums come in, and again, they sound thin. So you already kind of have a bad sound going on here. The chorus is lacking. Definitely not their best work on the album. And again, I just keeps going through my head. This chemistry is just not working. So another bad track. Then you got track number 8, which is Josephina. Josephina's got a great intro, and Sharon, he sounds really good. Drum sounds weak again, and things just get weird. Track number 7, Fire in the Hole. This starts out pretty good. Sharon sounds pretty good. The first verse, I'm good with that. And then I think it gets a little strange. And then when it gets to the chorus, I don't like it. And then when it gets back to the second verse, it's good again. So I'm going through a lot of different ideas and emotions during this song, so it just kind of turns me off. So again, not a fan of this song either. Number 9 is Year of the Day, another great start with Eddie Van Halen playing guitar. Then Sharon starts singing, and I'm just thinking this guy's just not the right fit. Once the song ramps up, things get better, but then the song goes back and forth from soft to hard, which is a really good concept, but it just really isn't working. And this song's super long, and there's really no reason to. I just think it just becomes redundant. So again, I'm just, maybe I'm just unhappy, except for once. I'm just really unhappy with, being a long time Van Halen listener. What the hell are they doing? I mean, this is, frustrating. I mean, what is this? The last time that they put an album out for like 13 years, 13, 14 years. I mean, this album probably came close to just shutting them down. I mean, how much worse can you get from a band who's done so much great things? This album's terrible. All right, the next song is called Primary. It's a nice solo by Eddie Van Halen, and it's pretty much just an intro to Ballad or the Bullet. So, not really a whole lot to say about this one, but I'm good with it. And then track number 11, Ballad or the Bullet. The music's great, but then Gary Cherone starts singing, and I'm just over him singing. I'm sick of it. And like from a production standpoint of view, I mean, did they ever stop the music, be like, hey, let's hey Gary, let's go back to the end of the first verse and let's sing that chorus again. Let's see if we can tighten it up a little bit and actually hit the notes, and let's see if we can get something a little bit tighter. You're doing a great job, but let's do it again. I really feel like this whole album, they just took the very first take of every song. Actually, that's what I've been naming. That's what I've called this album this whole time. It's not called Van Halen 3. It's called Take 1, because I just feel like that's all they've done. So, I don't know, just a lack of production, or maybe they were just trying to hit a deadline. I don't know. I don't know. This album makes me sad. Then the grand finale, How Many Say I? I don't really know where to start with this song. I mean, really, this is the perfect ending to this shit album. Eddie Van Halen sings, and that was a terrible idea, and Gary Cherone's backing him up. The intro is way overly dramatic. He's hitting those notes really hard, Then the singing starts, and again, it's Eddie freaking Van Halen. They almost pull off the chorus, though. Like whenever they're singing the chorus and they're harmonizing, I almost go, oh, okay. And then it goes on to the rest of the song, and then I'm like, oh, okay, shit again. So, not a fan. But this song, How Many Say I, is a really good song. It's got a good arrangement, and musically, it's a really fantastic song. So I would have loved to heard somebody like, I don't know, maybe Sammy Hagar sing it. Somebody that could give a little bit more of a delicate touch and actually hit the right notes. And I would love to hear anybody sing a song. Anybody. It's a good song. But Eddie Van Halen's not a singer. Don't ever do it again. And wow, terrible. So that's it. That's everything that I think about this album. I can guarantee you when we go to album 11 all the way to album number 1, it's not going to be this bad. I'm not going to complain this much. So anyway, that does it for this week. Hope you enjoyed my take on Van Halen 3. If you did, subscribe to the channel and click on the bell, because next episode is going to be their 11th best or second worst, I'm not sure how to say that, album. So if you want to follow along with this series, the countdown to number 1, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you click the bell, comment down below, like I said before, let me know what your least favorite album is, and we'll go from there. Don't forget about Instagram at Red Mug Music. Also, I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/Red Mug Music. Still working on the website, kind of. And that's pretty much it for this week. So thanks for hanging out with me today, and I will see you guys next week.